Hi, I'm Tọlá Okogwu, author of Onyeka and the Secret Superhero for World Book Day. A book that I read recently that I really enjoyed is this one, Sade and Her Shadow Beast, written by Rachel Fattirotti and illustrated by Rumbi Savanu. It is such an amazingly lyrical and beautifully written book. It's about a young girl called Sade who has a big imagination. And, she creates an imaginary world through her poetry, through her written word. But when her mom dies, this starts to have a negative impact on her world, and she loses control of this imaginary world that she has created. And we follow her as she learns to grapple and come to terms with her feelings and her grief. And along the way, she makes some amazing friends and learns to sort of reach out and get help and get support from the people around her. This book was just so beautiful, especially in terms of kind of talking about how we deal with our emotions, how we deal with grief. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. A book that I read recently that I really enjoyed was Mia and the Lightcasters by Janelle McCurdy and illustrated by Anna Latisse. It's a fantastically action-packed adventure story, especially for those who really like video games. And it is all about a young girl called Mia who has always dreamed of being an Umbra tamer. And Umbras are these amazing magical creatures in this world. But after having a negative experience with them, she now just wants to be safe. Unfortunately for her parents get captured and her city, the City of Light, is now at risk. And it's up to Mia, her brother, and some Umbras to go on a journey to try and save the day. As I said, amazingly action-packed. It literally has you on the edge of your seat as you kind of anticipate what's going to happen next. So yeah, if you want to find out whether Mia does save the day, then check out Mia and the Lightcasters. A book that I read recently that I really enjoyed is My Name is Sunshine Simpson by G.M. Linton and illustrated by Fuji Takashi. This was such a brilliant book. It was heartfelt, warm, incredibly funny. It's about a young girl called Sunshine, and we follow her as she grapples with some big changes at home in her family, as well as changing dynamics in her friendship group at school. Now, this book had me laughing and crying at the same time as I utterly fell in love with Sunshine and her family. A book that I have read that recently that I really enjoyed is this one. It's called Mama's Sleeping Scarf and it's written by Chimamanda Adichie, who's one of my favorite authors, and it's illustrated by Joelle Avellino. I really love this book. It's so vibrant in terms of the writing as well as the beautiful illustrations by Joelle. It is all about the magic that can be found in the everyday and the seemingly mundane. And as we follow a young girl, Chino, through the rhythms and routines of her life, and we meet her family and the things that they do during the day, all through her imaginative play with her mom's sleeping scarf. And I also love this book because it kind of mirrors my own life and my home with my daughters, and I have a sleeping scarf that they like to play with. And so I very much enjoy reading this book to them, and we have a lot of fun spending time together as we read this book.